Morning. All right, we got a Marshall DSL40CR here. Just showing some of the common problems that these are starting to have now. They're not ideal, but starting to see them more often. So the big boo-boo on these is this glue that you can see holding down, or securing the larger components. Sort of becomes conductive, and it's also corrosive to metals over time as it gets older, or absorbs moisture, or reacts with air or heat or whatever. I'm not a physicist, but it's darkens and it becomes more conductive over time. You see that one's sort of redoing stuff. It's transforming over time. Anyway, so one thing that happens a lot on these is these two resistors there that I'm in the middle there that we're looking at. They tend to, because they're hugging the circuit board, they tend to flash over with the trace that's running underneath them. And so you get shorts, you pop a fuse, you hear sparks and noises and stuff. So on this one, I've just tacked in, I've removed some of the glue around there and just checked it out. So there's no damage or flash over to the circuit board there. But on this one over here, R9, that one has actually flashed over a bit. Let me just zoom in there so you see. There's still continuity there, so just for testing purposes, it's fine to run a bit of power through it. There's no other shorts, obviously, because it's running and it's not drawing. It's drawing about, about 70 watts at idle at about 230 volts mains. So it's running all right. So what happened with this one was it flashed over to that trace there, which is part of the, so you've got your high power and your low power on your switch on the front. And it's, basically switches between two power supplies for the output valves, and I believe the phase inverter as well. Anyway, so what happened was it allowed all the power from that dropper to bleed through that to ground, and it toasted the original resistor that was in there, and that went open. Rather than blowing a fuse, that resistor went open, toasted itself, and saved further damage from happening. So tack that in, and it's all appears to be running fine now. I'm just, I'm sort of just in the assessment stage of this, so just a couple of quick repairs just to get it up and running, to see what's going on with it. One thing I've noticed though, I don't know if you can hear that little buzzing there. I hope you can hear that over the bloody freezer that's in here. But we've got a singing transformer. Just lightly pressing my hand on that shuts it up. So hopefully we can just see if we can tighten those screws and get it to stop, or maybe even just slightly deform the bell housing so it rings at a less noticeable frequency. Who knows? Look into that if the customer wants to go ahead with that. So yeah, in summary, we're looking at just removing all that glue, fixing that transformer if we can. Output valves appear to be okay. The hold is stable. They're not overly noisy. You can barely hear some ringing through my test speakers, so maybe I'll give them the option to just fully do everything at once while we've got the board out. Most of the labor is going to be removing the glue, so on top of that we can also option just replacing all the components that have to be removed to clean the glue. They all test fine so far, so we can leave them in, but if you want to give it the birthday treatment or the premium service or whatever, it's not really that much extra cost on top, because like most of the labor is just disassembling that and cleaning the glue off anyway. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That's about it. There are some other problems I've seen on these, but not common enough that I would assume it's something that's going to have to be done to all of them. I've seen sticky relays on one out of about 5 or 6 over the last maybe 8 months, year. Another thing I've noticed is some of the solid state devices in there run on higher voltage as well, and they don't have very good trace isolation, or like distance margins in place for high voltage versus other potentials on the board. So I've heard from colleagues that I forget which part of the circuit it was, but there was some flashover occurring on there on one unit, but I haven't seen that myself, so it remains to be seen if that's going to be a common issue in the future, but it could be, so it's something to keep an eye out for. On top of that, so that pretty much covers it for this one. Just test the signal. Let's see what we got. Does our reverb work? That's something else I've seen on these. The reverb likes to stop working, and I've seen a few different things cause that. Sometimes one time I've seen a connector, one of the leads pulled out of the body of the connector. Another time just reseating, just carefully undoing that screw, which can be tricky to get to if you don't have the right tool. I like to use one of these tiny little ratchets and put a little Phillips bit on this little ratchet thing. That makes it easy to get to hard to reach screws. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes just pulling that out and reseating it is enough to get it to work again. They're probably the two most common things I've seen to cause the reverb to stop working, but that appears to be working on that channel at least. Yeah, that's fine. We'll try it on the lead ultra channel, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there's plenty of reverb there. So look, everything appears to be working fine on this. Just that main issue of the circuit board flashover there, rearing its head again. So yeah, if you do buy one of these, watch out for it. Like, if it hasn't happened yet, it probably will soon. Pretty much every single unit of these that I've worked on has had this fault, and if it hadn't, it was starting to happen. So before you get the flashover, sometimes that glue goes conductive, and you can just use a regular multimeter and put probes onto the actual adhesive there, and it will show conductivity.